a section now on massage and touch and counter pressure, and my husband Michael is going to help us. So massage and touch is one of the best ways to divert your attention during labor, to not notice so much the pressure you're feeling and for it to just start feeling really good. And there's lots of ways you can do it, whatever feels good to you. So it could be light strokes, like even husbands, even just like lightly stroking the top of her legs can feel good, her neck, her shoulders, her back, and firm can feel good too, of, like a real massage if her shoulders are tensing. And so you can tell him what feels good, and you might not know until it's starting, and you can tell him like, oh no, go harder, or if he's doing hard, like, oh no, wait, I think I like it light. So just direct him. And husbands, let me say this, don't take anything personally during labor. Like, she gets to be the boss, and she needs to focus on what she's doing and not think about being polite and like worrying about how she's saying, how that's coming off to you. So just go with it. And just because you were doing something and she was like, oh, that's amazing, and then 10 minutes later she's like, no, don't do that. You're not doing anything wrong. That's because she's shifting into a new phase of labor, and it's okay that what was feeling good isn't feeling good anymore. But almost like, if you were running a marathon and you're towards the end of it and you're tired and a little out of breath, like, you kind of just want to be like, hey, give me the water, and versus like, oh, honey, can you please hand me the water? So don't take it personally, just go with it. I always tell people that are my clients when they're doula, like, you can't hurt my feelings during labor. Like, boss me around, tell me exactly what you're feeling. And that's really good for the moms, because really, like, you as a mom, you want to let go of all logical thought and like your mental thinking, and just get in your body and just surrender to the labor process. And if you're thinking too much, that's going to inhibit you really like just surrendering to what your body's trying to do. So yeah, I remember at one point in my labor with Ben, he was trying to be helpful. He's awesome. He was trying to be helpful, but it was getting really painful at the end. And so he was like, okay, do this, Kira. Like, okay, picture Jesus on the cross and picture him taking your pain. And I was just like, I can't think about that right now. I can't think about anything right now. Don't talk to me about that right now, And so it was a really good thought, which probably in other moments would have helped. But sometimes in labor, like, you just can't think, and that's okay. Like, turn your thinker off and just let your body birth your baby. Okay, so tightly embracing your partner can feel really good. We're going to show you kind of some positions you can do. So standing is a really good position because standing uses gravity and helps move your baby down. You can kind of move standing and open things up. So one thing that can be great is you can kind of just lean on your partner like this. He can just rub your back like that. That feels really good. You guys can kind of sway and slow dance during a contraction. And that can feel really good. And then it can be good, like, so contractions over, walking's good. So then you guys can kind of like, we did this a lot, like then we'd walk around the house and kind of just walk, or I'd walk backwards, or he would, and just kind of lead me, and then I'd be like, okay, contraction starting. Then you can kind of just relax on him again. You want to go as limp as possible, so you're not holding tension in your body. So if you can like fully lean on him, that's really good. Crisscross massages, or lightly stroke your belly, that can feel really good too. So you're standing there, you can kind of just rub your belly. That kind of massage in your belly can feel really good. Crisscross massage over your back. So let me show on you for a minute. If you want to get on your hands and knees.
Right here is okay?
Yeah. This is a good position for laboring, and especially to kind of turn the baby around like I was talking about. So crisscross massage, you're kind of just going back and forth on her back like this, crisscrossing up and down her back. And that can feel really good. Why don't you guys get on your hands and knees, and I'm going to let you guys practice a few of these.
Should I stay?
Yeah, I'll work on you. So yeah, moms, get on your hands and knees. Partners, you can kind of first try like just some like gentle strokes down her back. You can go really light. You can try, the crisscross. Another thing that can feel really good is something called counter pressure. So counter pressure, husbands, you're going to kind of put your hand right here on her lower back, kind of like right where her sacrum is, and you're just going to push, and you're just going to hold firm pressure. And if the baby's head is pushing up and you're pushing there, it just kind of relieves the pressure she's feeling. And you'll just hold that through the whole contraction. And she can kind of tell you where to move it and what feels good. Kind of on the small of her back, right where her kind of back moves to her buttocks. And then the other place that counter pressure can feel really good is on her hips. Kind of her hips glutes, like right about here. And you're just going to push in like this, and you're just going to hold it. And she can kind of direct you where it feels good, but you can hold that through the whole contraction. And again, what that's doing, let me show you with my little model. So here she is. As you're pushing on her hips, see how that then opens that, it's almost like a clothespin. Then it opens this part up for the baby to move down a little bit. So you're actually assisting making room for the baby to move down. So often when I'm a doula, I do that for hours, and I come home and my arms are so sore, because that's one of the best things you can do for it. And usually, depending on baby's position, usually the mom's like, that feels so good, like just keep doing that, you know. So that can be a really good position. Another position that can be really good is just leaning forward on something. So whether it's a couch, just leaning forward like this. If you have a birth ball, leaning on the birth ball can be really good. And again, if you're leaning forward, it just opens your back up, so your husband can be massaging and rubbing. Rubbing her thighs can feel really good. Hand massages, foot massages, but just let her direct you of what feels good. Mostly you want her to just feel like the most loved person ever, and she's gonna love birthing. What are some other positions? If your baby is posterior and you're feeling a lot of back pain, hands and knees is good, but also you can go even farther than that and get your head all the way down on the ground. You can even like put your arms back like this. And the lower you can get your head and your butt in the air, it's going to encourage baby to flip around. So that can be a really good one. Swaying is really good. So if you are on a birth ball, will you hand me that birth ball right there? A lot of hospitals or birth rooms have these. If you want, you can get one at like Target, and they're not very expensive. But just swaying back and forth, again, like the more you're swaying and opening everything, the more it's just making room for baby to move on. And it just feels good. It's relaxing. Like rhythm in labor is really calming and relaxing. So, yeah. You have, I provided with you guys with a position sheet, and so you can use that to kind of look through during labor even, like, well, what other position could we try? Because let's try switching it. What else could we try? So you guys can look at that. The toilet's on there. That's a great place to labor. Lots of moms love laboring on the toilet. And again, like husband, like you can even just be standing in front of her, and if she's on the toilet, like she can just lean on you, and that can feel really good. Yeah, so those are some of the positions you guys can try. I really recommend walking and slow dancing as much, just because the gravity helps.
And that's in active labor?
Yeah, or early. Or early labor. Going on a walk is great in early labor. So if you think you're starting labor, go on a long walk if you have the energy to, because again, that just opens everything up. Even at the hospital, once they check you and then they're like, okay, you're 4 centimeters, you can go do whatever. Like if you can, walk the halls. Like walking is shifting everything and just opening you up, and using gravity to help pull baby down. Yeah, so let's see what else. Okay, we did the counter pressure. Okay, another thing that really helps in labor is just the connection between you as partners. Again, that's to help oxytocin flow. And the other interesting thing is that if she's feeling really connected to you, almost like when you're making love, it actually sends blood flow to all her lower regions and opens her up. And so that's why, like sex can really hurt a woman if it's rape. But if she's feeling really connected and loved with her partner, blood is flowing down and opening her up, and it doesn't hurt at all, and I can actually feel good. And so the same thing is true during birth, that the more connected she's feeling to you and loved, the more blood flow and good hormones are going through their body, the more open she's going to be, and it won't hurt as much. It helps the contractions feel better, keeps her from tearing. Ina May, the nation's leading midwife, actually said that in all the births she's done, she really encourages her couples. They deliver out on this farm in Tennessee, but she encourages them to kiss a lot during labor. And she said she's never seen a woman tear who was kissing during labor because it was just opening her up so much. And it can lead to orgasm. I think she also said 20% of the women who delivered on her farm had some type of orgasm when they were birthing, because it really is all the exact same hormones going through your body. So I think that's awesome and probably God ordained.